Hello again. Those who remember opening a bank account 30 or 40 years ago will know that it was a pretty relaxed and informal business. You just went along and the thing was generally done that day with little formality. How different, how very different things are today with the extensive money laundering laws and regulations. The same goes for buying a house, with various forms asking you to prove the origin of any money you use for a deposit. Just imagine a few years ago if you'd been trying to buy a house and the man at the building society said, "Hang on, not so fast. Where did you get the money for the deposit? Is this part of a criminal operation?" It sounds mad, doesn't it? And yet that's exactly what happens if you try and buy a property today. You are asked the origin of any money you're using, where you got it from, and you have to provide evidence that you haven't stolen the money. The reason is, of course, that many foreigners have come to live in Britain and brought with them a lot of unsavoury practices from their home countries in Africa and Asia. These quaint old customs include fraud on an industrial scale and the exploitation of any loopholes in the law which can be found. Nobody wishes to discriminate against foreigners, of course, and so any new regulations that have been brought in must be applied equally to foreigners and people born and bred in Britain. A British person now needs a passport to prove his nationality in his own country. The latest change in British law, caused by the presence of large numbers of foreigners, is a change in the age at which one can be married. For the entire life of anybody watching this video, the age at which one may be married in Britain has been 16. This has worked perfectly well. There's never been any difficulty with this age. Now, that is all to change. The government has promised to raise the minimum age at which one can be married to 18. The reason for this is, of course, the behaviour of foreign-born people in Britain. Some Muslim communities from the Indian subcontinent are in the habit of forcing their daughters to marry as soon as they reach the legal age of 16. Often this is part of a gambit relating to immigration, and more than half those marriages are by cousins, by the way, which creates its own problems. An MP called Sajid Javid is worried about this conduct on the part of members of his community, and so will introduce a private members' bill, which the Ministry of Justice says has the backing of the government. In such a way, another part of the tapestry of British life is unravelled. There has never been any problem with the age of marriage being 16, and very few British people have actually got married at this age. For one thing, you need parental consent for a marriage like that before the age of 18. But when a law has worked so well for so many years, I honestly do not see why we should change it just in order to curb dodgy activities by Pakistanis and Bengalis, which is incidentally what the government itself admits has prompted the change. This is just one more of those things, like needing to prove your nationality and identity when renting a flat or signing on with an employment agency, that we have got used to over the years. Why should we have to change an old law like this just because some people come to the country and abuse it? Is it the law which needs to be changed? Or is it rather that we should be looking at those who are behaving in such a way and asking ourselves what we can do about them and their conduct? Why should this affect everybody else in the country? I'd be interested to know what viewers think about this.